Hello and good evening, traders. So the second week of February is here. So let's do a quick weekly outlook and see how we will be trading the week on gold. So this is gold and silver weekly outlook, and I will also cover the fundamental analysis towards the end. So starting on the weekly chart, we see that last week we had a bullish kind of week from the candle that has been printed, but it almost felt like a bearish week because we started off by wicking down into some areas of imbalances and a PDRA, the weekly order block. So let's mark that out. So we had this. So we had this weekly fair value gap. Not a weekly fair value gap. I'm sorry. We had this new week opening gap from January's price action. So we retested that. We also retested a lower new week opening gap, which also is on the same level with this order block. This is a weekly order block, so I will not mark that out. So but you should know that this is a weekly order block, this one. So we retested that weekly order block, and then we were able to dip into the two NWOGs, but the bodies respected those levels. So as ICT traders, we always say that the bodies tell the story and the wicks break the rules. So as so from that analogy, we can see that the body remained to the upside, and it also tried to push higher, trying to close above this, but uh, Friday reached and we had the close there. So looking at silver, we also had something along the same lines. So we retested this NOx, but on this asset we were okay. So let me just delete this first. So on the weekly, so this NWOG was retested and the body actually closed below it, but the second one, so you can see that we had two NWOGs also on this asset. So this is a smaller one. It's also smaller on gold, but it still counts as an NWOG, new week opening gap. So you can see that we retested into that, also retested into this order block, and actually further retested into the monthly fair value gap that I had talked about on last week's weekly outlook. So you can check that out. So you can see that we dipped into that monthly fair value gap. So on a monthly, we have formed the lower week, some form of immediate rebalance. So we have dipped into that area of imbalance on a monthly. And then on a weekly, we get that weekly bearish, but you can see that the body closed above the previous week low. So that was a good sign for silver, which now I can relate to what happened on gold. We dipped into this level, but immediately returned to close above the previous week lows and also above the new week opening gaps. So I'm still bullish on these two. Last week I was still bullish, but I wasn't able to get a setup, which we will see why when we go to the daily chart. So that is the weekly analysis. So this week basically I'm targeting probably areas within this week and even the high of that week. So maybe we can start rallying to the upside. I think price is ready. So let's go to the daily chart and do some more analysis. So when you look at the daily chart, on Friday last week, we so no on Monday last week we opened with a new day opening gap. So this is what we call an end dog. So this is a new day opening gap, and as soon as price started to trade to the downside, I mentioned that I wanted to see it respecting this NOG. So if you're in my channel, you know that I mentioned that, and you can see that as soon as we finished retesting those, the bodies did not even attempt to uh, close inside any level of this new week opening gap. So that's a very good sign of bullish price action. So as soon as that happened on Tuesday, we had that rally to the upside, which gave us a new a daily change in state of delivery. So we already have a daily change in state of delivery. So last week we had a lot of interferences from the government shutdown and NFB being cancelled and so forth. So this kind of price action was very normal to me in that sense. So I did not have a setup. So we got this daily change in state of delivery, and on the next day, on Wednesday, I was now waiting to see a 4-hour retracement, and then I will go to the 15-minute to look for a bullish entry, but I was not able to get any of that, so I was still on the sidelines. So I did not get any trades last week. And then you can see that on Thursday we happened to get a bearish day, which printed a bearish candle, and we closed below the open of the previous days, which gave us now another daily change in state of delivery to the downside. So the retracement was not able to resist closing below this, which is understandable because of the size of this body, Wednesday's body. So we got that change in state. So as soon as that happened, as much as this is valid, I now want to see a daily change in state of delivery here. And I mentioned this on Friday when I said that my week ends there. I mentioned that now I want to see a daily change instead of delivery form on this level. So I will just label it as an LDC. So this is a daily last down close candle level, and I want to see price close above this level. And as soon as price closes above this level on a daily chart, I will now go to the 4-hour and 15-minute to look for an entry. And of course, this has to be in alignment with the dollar index, which I will talk about after finishing this bit. So let's go to silver. So on silver we had the same thing. We had somehow we had the same thing, because on Monday, between Monday and Tuesday, we had this daily change in state of delivery, but you can see that that level was disrespected as the initial weekly low was swept on Thursday, as Thursday was retracing lower, also forming a daily change in state of delivery. So you can see that we have, so this is SMT. So we already have smart money divergence here between this low and this low. So this is a very good sign for bullish price action, because you can see that on one asset of the two correlated ones, we already have one forming a lower low and another forming a higher low. So that should tell you that price might be ready to displace to the upside to continue. So also on silver, if I am to trade silver, so if any of you are watching this and you would like to trade silver, I would advise that you wait for this, because this is the last down close candle on a daily chart. So I would advise that you label that as an important level in price, that you want to see price closing above that on a daily chart. And if it does, now you can look for your entry model on whatever the time frame that you use. So for me, I will be expecting this close above this level on silver, and then I will be expecting, you can see that we are already above the daily LDC level. I want us to stay in those areas moving forward, and I would like to see price close above that. So we're about 6 hours, 5 hours 30 minutes to the daily close, and I want to see price close above 49.98. And then if I get that tomorrow, I will come in looking for longs. So it's also important that I mark out this NDOG. So this is an NDOG, it's also an NWOG. So let's just mark it as an NDOG because we are on the daily time frame, and I think that on the weekly chart, yes, so this is an NWOG. Let's just mark it as an NWOG. So this is a new week opening gap. So for those who are new here, I use NWOGs as points that I want to see price respect if I'm bullish. So if this is a bullish NWOG, I want to see price respecting this level. I do not want to see any bodies in a 4-hour or a 1-day chart closing below the 50% of this NWOG. So tomorrow I am expecting probably a 4-hour retracement, and I want to see that 4-hour retracement maybe retest this daily LDC level, which will be now be a daily change in state of delivery. So I would allow price to, I would allow I am allowed to see price wicking into this level, so I will want to see price maybe drop a week from the daily downside wick to this level on a 4-hour chart, maybe in the London session or Asia session, and then I can come and look for a change in state on a 4-hour, look for an entry on a 15-minute as usual. So on silver, do we have yes, we have the new week opening gap also on this commodity, so it's more clear on the daily because we went lower on silver. So you can see that I am now aligning a few PD arrays. We have the NWOG, the new week opening gap on both assets. Okay, this one is becoming stubborn. So we have that NWOG, and I want to see price respecting that since I'm expecting bullish price action. And as I have mentioned, I would allow price to come and wick into these areas, but I will not want to see any bodies closing below the 50% or even below it, because that will have signified that we are now changing state and we want to distribute lower. So for now, that is all. I will be targeting the buy side liquidity resting on top of this high, and maybe, yeah, basically the buy side liquidity resting on the swing highs and the swing highs. So my next drawn liquidity is this one, 55.99. Then maybe depending on where I will catch the trade, I will know if I will hold maybe to 6,000 or so forth. So there's no need for going to the 4-hour chart for now. I'm just waiting to get that close, and then I will share the 4-hour analysis tomorrow in the morning, because I'm pretty sure that we are going to close above this, so it will be a daily change in state of delivery in less than 6 hours. So let's look at the DXY, and then we can wrap the technical analysis up and maybe go through the fundamental analysis. So looking at the DXY, let's start off from the weekly chart. We have a lot going on, but basically, as I have been telling you, all you need to know about the DXY, as much as you need the technical, you just need to know how the dollar is posed to move in the next few weeks or months. So you really just need to have a grasp of the geopolitics affecting the US economy right now. So you can see that we have been displacing lower. For example, this week, this was a very big week, and we actually caught the bullish on gold as a result of this. So you can see that we displaced lower, formed a weekly change in state of delivery, closed below this swing low, so that's a weekly market structure shift and so forth. And you can see that between this week and this week we had this NWOG. Okay, so we had that NWOG that I was observing last week, and we actually closed above it, so we have actually filled it. But as I have said, I do not really put much emphasis on the technicals on DXY on a weekly chart, because for example, you will see that on the daily chart we are starting to have very bearish signs, and according to what's happening in the US, I expect it to drop a little bit lower. So the dollar still not as strong as it should be, so we might be getting some bearish price action on the dollar. So let's leave that new week opening gap for now. Let's go just to the daily chart where I will show you something. Because okay, now on the weekly, as much as, let's not ignore it because it might be important to some of you. So we had this NWOG which has been completely filled. So in a normal situation, or in an ideal situation, I should now be looking at bullish price action on the dollar index, but that will not be the case because of what I will explain in the other time frame, the daily time frame. Because to start with, this is the last down close candle on a weekly chart. So If I were to be bullish, I would wait for a change in state up here at 99.429, which has not happened yet. So because that is too far, I now go to the daily time frame to see what price is doing on a daily price action level. So when I look at that, you can see that last week we had that bullish price action, and as soon as this happened, I mentioned that I will not be engaging in any trades on gold until we have a change in state to the downside, because Monday closed above the NWOG, which was not something I wanted to see. I wanted to see it being respected. So I mentioned that I wanted to see a change in state on this level, but that was not the case. We actually had another change in state to the upside on Wednesday. So as soon as that happened, I started packing my bags and knew that probably I wasn't going to get a setup that week, and that is how it ended. And this is yet another reason why I did not get a setup last week, because we were trading bullishly. So the last up close candle was Thursday's candle, and then Friday we tried to close below, but we were not able to. So today, on Monday, 9th Feb, you can see that we are starting to get that close below this, which will now become a daily change in state of delivery. So for now, because we have not, as much as we are pretty sure that price cannot go all the way back up, but it could. So for now, it's not a daily change in state of delivery. It's still a last up close level, last up close candle level on a daily chart. So this is a daily LUC, and as soon as price closes below that, it will have confirmed my bearish bias on DXY and my bullish bias on gold. So that is how I'm looking at it. I want to see price close below that, and you can see that we will also have now it will be some form of inverted new week opening gap, because not really an inverted, but it will be a balanced price range. You can see that we traded against it, and again now we have traded across it. So now I don't expect to see price coming back to that area. So, and that will be supported by this daily change in state of delivery, which will be a daily change in state of delivery in 6 hours 33 minutes. So yeah, that's it on DXY. I want to see this daily change in state, then distribute lower, and which will then reflect as bullish price action on gold. So that's it on the technical analysis. Let's go through, let's do some very light fundamental analysis. And it's a very clean week. This is the clean in quotes. So we do not have much noise in the markets, because today we didn't have any news. Tomorrow we have news at 4:30, which is 8:30 a.m. New York time. So after that, it's clear skies for trading. On Wednesday again, we have news only at 4:30, which is 8:30 a.m. New York time. Again, clear skies for trading in the New York and AM sessions if trades appear. Thursday again, we have 4:30 p.m. Which is 8:30 a.m. New York time, and then on Friday we have the same thing, 4:30, which is 8:30 a.m. New York time. And I really do not need to mention this news, although they are high impact. We have we have CPI on Friday, we have unemployment claims on Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow we have core retail. So as I have always mentioned, I do not really go deep into what this data means to the markets, because I really care about the FOMC and the NFP. So federal fund rates and the NFP, those are the most important to me. The rest, I do not really follow them. I just need to know when they are happening, so that I can avoid taking a trade at least 30 minutes before and maybe 30 minutes after. So for example, this week, 8:30, I normally don't take any trades at 8:30. My usual time is at 10 a.m. New York time, and probably in the London session very early at 2 a.m. So none of this news will be affecting any of the trades that I will have taken. So That's it. Trade safe. And if you're interested in joining my Telegram channel, the link to the group is in the description. I take between 1 and 3 trades only a week on gold and US 100 combined. So if you're interested, you can join. I share my setups there for free. And yeah, thank you for listening. The other video for US 100 and 500 will be in this channel. You can check it out. Thank you for tuning in.